Good morning, folks. Day 29. Day 29 of my Camino. I'm setting off from Ponferrada. I got here last night and it was pouring. It was torrential downpours, thunder, which means there was lightning too, but it was really high up in the clouds, and everywhere was soaked. I was soaked by the time I got to an albergue. So set off quite late this morning. It's after 7 o'clock. We did have a older lady last night in our room that did not sleep. She was up umpteen times and left her mobile phone right beside me. That had an alarm going off at 5 a.m. Very much appreciated. But out now, on the way. Had a choice of paths this morning. The main Camino path actually runs along a main road. It's only about 100, 200 yards off to my left. But I thought I'd take the quieter, more picturesque route of walking along beside the river. There are two paths beside the river. This one that I'm on, which is in a higher part. But down below, there's a gravel path, which on a hot day, if you're passing through from Malnaseca going onwards, then if it's sunny, that lower path's probably best because it'll be much cooler down there. It's closer to the water. But I just didn't want to take the risk of it being too muddy after all the rain, so I thought I'd just stay up here. It's still nice to be under the trees. It's not too cold. It is about 14, 15 degrees, but it is supposed to warm up this afternoon. So let's get going. Not sure where I'm going to, but let's get going. There's our first hill of the day, thankfully. Well, we have been walking downhill for quite a while, so what goes down must go up. Clearly, Compostella is where you live if you have loads of money in the Ponferrada area. Some of these houses are massive and extremely grand. Now, this is actually one of the smaller ones I'm about to show you. One of the smaller ones. Like there's that one behind me. It's like a bloody castle, has tennis courts and everything. And there's this one. I'm not sure if the fence in the middle of that marks it off as two separate houses, but they're massive. They're really nice. The area's dead. There's also a lot more pilgrims on the path at the moment. There's quite a few behind me, and there's quite a few up in front, which is really great to see. It actually gives you that sort of feeling coming back onto it, like the first sort of days coming out of Saint Jean, and that's great to see. It is busy. Whether that affects the beds, I don't know. Didn't have a problem yesterday, but really depends on where people are walking to, how far they're going today. And it's a nice day so far. Hopefully the rain and the thunderstorms have passed. One thing I did do before I set off this time was mark on my little book of the map, whereas safe for drones, no drones, etc., and even the areas that are questionable. So it means that I can fly the drone this time where I'm allowed to, if the weather's permitting. But right at this moment in time, the area I'm in, there's no drones. So I don't know if that means that there's a prison or a military base or something in the area, but because my ID is on my drone, I'm not going to risk it. I know some people do. They remove their username, their flyer ID, and go for it, but I'm not doing that. Though it is a lovely morning for a flight. I don't know if you can pick that up. This is the valley that we're entering. We're going to walk along. Looks like it's nesting time again. Coming down the hill again and end up in this little wee valley bit. There's a guy back behind me there selling cherries that he picked, and then there's another fella here selling wristbands and things. So clearly it's a haunt for peregrinos. So I did stay up off in Camponoraya. I'm not sure how you say it, but stopped there for breakfast, 2 coffees, tostadas. He gave me 2 slices of almond cake and rested up a wee bit. Had a really good conversation with a young Korean couple and a lady, I'm going to guess she's from the States rather than Canada, just by the way she was talking. But the young Korean couple, they're actually from the same city back in Korea, but they didn't know each other, and they bumped into each other in Pamplona and have been walking together ever since and became a couple. So imagine coming halfway around the world and finding romance. Romance on the Camino. And what I really noticed was the number of people on the Camino. It was pre-COVID whenever it was like this. Literally every 5 minutes you're being passed by somebody, or you're passing somebody. Right ahead of me now I can see 5, maybe 6 pilgrims down there. There's a group of 4 or 5 behind me. There was more behind that. The numbers are fantastic, and it really is what the businesses along the Camino needed. And it doesn't look like it's raining today. It is very humid, but it doesn't look like it's raining. There's some apples on the tree. Loads of the trees around here are still in their early fruit, so apples are too small. Some of the cherries aren't quite ripe. Some of them are, that have been sitting in the sunlight. Grapes have a long way to go. I can imagine towards the end of the summer, late August, September time, the trees would be very heavily laden with fruit. Oh, nearly bent my ankle. There's a lot of almond trees as well, with their little tiny green pouches. So I'm going to concentrate on where I'm walking and keep going. Not sure how far I'm walking today. I was thinking of walking to Villafranca de Bierzo. Buenos dias. But I'll have to see if that works. If I do get there and I'm still feeling fresh because I'm taking my time, revitalising myself every couple of hours, taking some electrolyte fluids, as well as constantly drinking water. Got more water on the side there, so trying to take it easier. Whether that means I can walk further, I don't know, but I think after these years of coming and doing short stints, I'm more on the ball about feeling my body and recovering from the tiredness or the impact of walking, the weight on my hips, my feet, and general energy levels. So yeah, I'm going to concentrate on the path in front of me. It's opening up now. More vineyards. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at the very top of the hill, 6 pilgrims ahead within eyesight. So let's keep going. Albergue. Church hours. I love scenes like this up ahead. You know, rightly, they're all stopped looking at a map going, do we keep going? Do we turn right? Is this right? Is this wrong? And then they'll just go with the flow. So they're going left. I think we're supposed to go right and then take a little side track. This is the thing when you don't see a sign. You keep going and hope that it's right. I'm going to check my phone and make a decision at that point, because there is a split between going on the road and going on a scenic route from here. So I was just checking the map. It is quicker going along the road. It's a shorter route, but there's an old path, and this is the original. So I'm trying to stick to the original Camino as much as possible when it allows. So although this is slightly longer, this is the route I'm going to take. I think it's an extra kilometre or something. But sure, a bit of variation, and I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful day out. There's some epic scenes as well right behind me. There's a little tiny church down there. This is possibly part of the fight by some towns and some areas to have the Camino pass through it, which is fair enough. Pilgrims can mean business if there's enough going on in your town. Some towns probably did support the Camino more a number of years ago, but whether it's in the pandemic or just being off stage from whatever it shows in the books or in some of the apps, it says you should go from here to here. That's a good day walking. Sometimes just get passed through. And even this town that I'm walking towards, chances are it gets passed over because people see a shorter route. And when you're tired and it's getting towards the end of the day, especially if they've been walking from Malnaseca, then you can't blame them for seeing an alternative route to exactly where they're going. So I'll keep going myself and see what it's like. Add an extra kilometre onto my walk, or two. It is quite out of the way. It's only a few more steps. welcome to Valtuil de Arriba. It's supposed to be a bar and the stairs there. In all honesty, I haven't seen one pilgrim ahead or behind me at all. This place feels like it's just been cut off, and I haven't seen another pilgrim sign either. Tell me which way to go. So I'm hedging a bit here. I might check the guidebook and see if it gives any clues, or whether I just keep walking through this town. Could possibly end up in the completely wrong place. Finally, some very worn out and hard to see arrows. So I am going the right way. The guidebook, the Brierley guidebook, doesn't really tell you much except to head up towards the plaza. So it looks like the town's ahead. There's more houses up here, so that's what I was guessing. Sometimes you just have to use your brain and take a chance, to quote the Apple track. But it's definitely seems to be one of these places that has fallen off the radar a bit. It's very quiet, very quiet. Middle of town, and there's a nice wee river, which, looking at how it's all sort of concreted up, makes it look like it must get some flow. And there's a name I haven't seen in ages, since March 2022. The old Michael Jackson written on the wall. Still no idea why. Nothing's open in this town. There was an Albergue. It was closed. It's quite quaint, picturesque in its own way. Some fantastic roses out at this time of year as well. Stopped in Villafranca del Bierzo, had some lunch, serrano ham, tostadas with tomato and parmesan, but sitting there, that's always the downside, because your legs start to, muscles of your legs start to go, and this is supposed to bring me down to the river. I'll follow it this way. You can't see what I'm seeing. Besides the very dodgy looking building there to the left, this road has been ripped up. There's still people walking down there, but no pilgrims. So I'll walk down it and see, and if it's wrong then I can walk back. But yeah, sitting down. As soon as I stood back up again, ready to get going. Feeling it in my legs and my back. Feet are fine. There are a couple of warm spots, but there's nothing developed or anything. But yeah, my back and my knees are really feeling it. So I think I will just find somewhere here in town to sleep and then continue on from here tomorrow. I don't know that I'll go all the way to Ostebrero tomorrow. That'll really depend on how I feel. It's 28 kilometers thereabouts from Villafranca to Ostebrero, so I need to be conscious that the last part of that is uphill and could kill. Especially if it's in the afternoon after walking up and down. That could be a really tough end of the day, but it could also be great. I'll judge it tomorrow. I'm going to get to a hotel, get some magnesium on my legs, get a shower, probably a shower first, then the magnesium, and hopefully get my clothes from yesterday and today washed and dried. At least that's the plan. Otherwise tomorrow I'll be wearing clean clothes and not have anything to get changed into. Right, I'm going to try and sort this lostness out. Is it like a really good challenge? Cut off up that way. That brings you to Pradella? Yeah. Whereas this way keeps you going.